The writing is on the wall. Markets are flashing warning signs, and those who prepare with gold and silver now will be the ones positioned to protect and grow their wealth when the storm hits. Let's break down what's happening, why it matters, and the exact steps you can take today to start saving for yourself, your family, and your future, and making a more secure financial future for yourself starting today. Hello, everyone. My name is Rick Fronek. I'm the CEO of Silver and Gold Solutions and Work Smarter for You here in beautiful Galena, Illinois. And in today's Stacking Saturdays, I'm going to be going over the points that make you realize that the writing is on the wall. Now is the time to take action, at least look into the form of precious metals for yourself and your family and your future. This is something that a lot of the mainstream media is not covering what is happening behind the scenes. And there's not going to be this big post across every news station saying, hey, go buy gold and silver now because there's going to be a monetary reset, or this is what's happening globally. So that's why I want to weekly. I've been sharing these calls since the end of June. Because I want to give everybody the information, the insight to make a better, more sound financial future for yourself and your family. Now, like I said before, I'm very passionate about gold and silver. I am not specifically a financial advisor. I'm just sharing with you what I've been doing for myself and my family for going on the last 5.5 years now, and it's something that's made an impact in myself, my family's life, and it's something that little steps, incremental steps that you can take as an individual, or even if you're like a business owner or something, want to share the information with your employers, or what have you. This is something that you can, digest the information that I'm going to share. And, like I always recommend people to do your own research as well. But at the same time, this information that I'm going to share that's going to help you make a sound decision. And it's going to share with you what's happening behind the scenes. Like every week, there's a ton going on. And obviously, people don't have an opportunity to read all the articles, to watch all the current YouTube videos, or, from the experts that are sharing their insights. So what I try to do is condense everything down and break it down into kind of microbyte steps, so to speak. So, like in today's presentation, I'm going to share with you why now is still the best time to buy or save in the form of silver and gold, and some of the driving forces behind what's happening with the gold and silver market. And I've also had some insight from a few people that have their predictions on what's going to happen, and they've been pretty consistent, along with the information that I've been sharing over the past 3 or 4 years in my presentations. I usually make some type of prediction, and so far every single one of them has come true. Okay, so this is it's just something that the timing is right now is very good for silver and gold, and that's why I encourage everyone to make sure you register for each call, because each week, or you only have to register once, I should say. Register for the call. I have the link below the video. But register for the call, and that'll give you the chance to win, one of the prizes that we give away every week. We give away something in the form of precious metals, whether silver, gold, physical silver or gold, or even memberships. And it's something that I encourage everybody to take advantage of. You just sign up once, and then you'll get a one email from me, and probably the day of the first Saturday following your sign up. And then you just hold on to that email, and then you can always click on that link and join right into the live stream. Okay. So it's not something you're going to be inundated with a bunch of emails from me. Um, so what I'm going to share with you today also is I'm going to touch slightly again on the silver tariffs, but then also the shocking insights on entities, these people that are actually taking physical delivery of gold and silver, which is something that is unheard of. I shouldn't say totally unheard of, but the percentage of these people and companies that are doing this art is just off the charts, and that's a huge warning sign. And also, we're going to touch upon the amount of gold and silver and the availability. And of course, we'll have our huge giveaway here. And then also, I am going to go over real quick, and I always encourage people to go back to uh, our very first presentation, our first Golden Saturday live stream. I did do a wealth strategies presentation on the very first call. I encourage everybody to go back to that first video and watch that. And I'll also put that link below the video here as well if you want to click on that and check out the presentation. It's a 8.5, 9 minute presentation that I do on that call as well. So I encourage people to check that out. And I also touch on that today, okay, as well. So how you could get started today, and just start saving for yourself and your family in your future. So what I've been doing is I've been every week I go over the gold and silver what the gold and silver closes at. Okay, this goes back to the very our first call was which was June 21st. So gold was at 33.69.40 an ounce and silver was at 36.02. And you can kind of see here going through July 12th, July 19th and 26th. It just shows you kind of how gold and silver, it fluctuates every week. Okay. But you can see the consistency in the pattern that's happening here. And going back to last week, gold was 33.64 and silver was at 37.10. And you see here silver's up again this week at 38.41 and gold is up past that $3,400 threshold. Not as quite as high as when it hit the 3,500 this year, but it's still staying consistent. Okay. And that's what's very important when you're going to make this decision for yourself. Okay, so this is something that the gold silver ratio is critical, and it's something that a lot of the people that I've been following, they've been talking about this, and it's something that I've been talking about as well for a couple of years now. The importance of that gold silver ratio. And so, like I have down here, you have a dollar, put it in gold or silver, and how to do it. Okay, that's what I'm going to share with you towards the end of the video here. So in this case here. This goes back to the wealth strategies for beginners. I did do a video on this also. So if you do a search on the Work Smarter for You YouTube channel, you will actually find that as well. Okay, so here we go with the gold versus silver ratio. With it being gold at 34.01, silver at 38.41, it takes 88 and a half ounces of silver to equal 1 ounce of gold. Now, this is something that I've discussed previously. Typically the ratio is 40 to 60 to 1, where, over the course of time, the gold ratio has been where it would take 40 or 60 ounces in that level, so to speak, 40 to 60 ounces of silver to equal 1 ounce of gold. So you see that big difference there. Okay, so that actually it shows you that as silver catches up, I'd said it many times before too, gold always spikes first and then, silver slowly follows behind. And that's exactly what is happening right now is that we're starting to get that ratio coming back down to 60 to 40 to 1 or in that range, so to speak. I mean, it's got a ways to go. So that's where the opportunity lies where silver is the optimal thing at this point. If you are capable, able to save in the form of gold, by all means, that's recommended. But right now, silver is the optimal precious metal to save in the form of. Okay, because as it starts catching up to that, going back down to that 60 to 40 range, the price of silver is going to go up. And then what you can do, and I have a clip today that I'm going to share where somebody actually references the same thing again, where it's optimal to buy silver. And then when it hits that ratio, then you convert it back to gold because then your the value of what you have is increased exponentially and it allows you to buy more gold. Okay, so it's something kind of keep in mind here. So I always get really passionate about this, as you can tell. Like I said, this is something, pardon me. And by the way, this is live. I'm not recording this and taping over it and editing. So when you see this on YouTube, it's going to be something any of the flaws or anything that happens, you're going to see it live. Okay. So the time is now and it's not too late. There's people that I've talked to that, back when gold was between 1,800 and $1,900 an ounce. And I remember one gentleman saying to me that he's like, no, I think I'm too late. I should have bought it before. So he says, I missed the window of opportunity. And at that point I was telling him, no, this goes back, to like September 2 years ago, roughly, or a year and a half ago. Pardon me. Um, and I told him, I said, no, I said, from everything that I've been seeing and what I've been watching and following, gold will hit $2,400 an ounce. And, within a year, it's going to surpass that 3,000. But he decided not to take advantage of it at the time. So it's something that, my goal is just to share the importance of it with everyone as well. Okay. And then here, keep in mind too that back on July 22nd, silver closed at a 14-year high of 39.33 an ounce. Now we're a little bit below that today, but it's still staying in that range. Okay, so that's something that's very important to know. And also, with what I'm going to be sharing here is also the significance of those spikes and when silver hits those certain ranges, the importance if you have a sound money wallet, which is something that I'm going to be sharing with. how you can do that, moving forward in this video. So hold on one second. Okay, now what I'd like to share is with an article that I did find online, which just shows some significance as to what happened yesterday, August 8th, with the gold markets and what prompted the rise and the fluctuation in the actual value of gold. So this was from Reuters. It's U.S. gold futures rare pair gains after official says White House to clarify tariff policy on bullion bars. Okay, I'll have the link for this article below too if you want to read the whole thing. U.S. gold futures paired gains on Friday, retreating from record high levels after reports that the White House plans to issue an executive order clarifying the country's stance on gold bar tariffs. The statement from White House officials on the upcoming executive order follows a ruling posted by the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Service website indicating that Washington may place the most widely traded gold bullion bars in the United States under country-specific import tariffs. The article goes on to say here, December U.S. gold futures were steady at 34.54 per ounce as of 6:52 GMT after hitting a record $3,534.10 earlier in the session. Gold's panic ascent shows that even safe haven assets are not immune to the volatility unleashed in the confusion of the tariff age. So this is something that is what prompted, if you were following the gold market yesterday, and if you watched the chart and saw how it spiked up and everything, and then how it kind of calmed back down. This is the reason why, because a lot of it is this part here. Analysts broadly noted that they are awaiting further clarity on the issue, adding that a U.S. tariff on gold deliveries could significantly affect Switzerland, giving its status as the world's leading hub for gold refining and transit. Currently, Swiss goods are subject to U.S. import tariffs of 39%, and the country is continuing discussions with the United States about reducing the levies. Okay, so that's something that is going to actually impact, that's, what is impacting what's happening right now. Okay, so this is something that, this is going to take some time to play out because this is just Friday, August 8th. And of course, the markets and everything are closed on Saturday over the weekend. So this is something that it'll be interesting to see what happens with this. But right now, what I want to point out too, again, here is with gold, it is over the course of, with it hitting its high this year when it eclipsed $3,500 an ounce, it has still been staying steady between that 32,000 and 3,500 high. So which is a good sign because you don't want to see it hit that 3,500 and then drop sharply down below $3,000 an ounce. So right now, gold is still a very good opportunity to save in. Although with what I'm sharing here and with everybody here today, you'll see that the true real precious metals that people should be focused on is actually silver. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share this clip from Andy Scheckman and Jay from Silver Slayer YouTube channel. The reason why the Silver Slayer, he usually has Andy Scheckman on as a guest, so it's something that I usually kind of tune into him just to see what whenever he's talking to Andy, because Andy's the CEO of Miles Franklin, so he's got a good feel for the pulse of what's happening in the gold and silver industry. Okay, so with this video, I'm going to share, there's actually two clips here. Well, actually, I'll condense it down into one to kind of keep this a little bit shorter. Okay, so bear with me because there's going to be a commercial here, but that's okay. This is live, like I said before. So let's go. So this is something that he's going to be talking about here. Well, let's just go and play the clip here.
When you travel as a family, every minute matters. And the last thing you need, well, near 6 billion in Amazon stock.
I want to back this up a second here because he's talking about what some of the entities like Mark Zuckerberg, Amazon, what they're doing with these owners, and like Jeff Bezos are doing with their own stock. So there's something's happening behind the scenes that the average everyday person isn't aware about. So let me back this up here just a little bit.
June 1st, Jeff Bezos has sold near 6 billion in Amazon stock. Offsets at 500 billion in cash. 3 or 4 largest shareholders, board members of NVIDIA are all dumping hundreds of billions each. Um, Amy Diamond is selling, Zuckerberg is selling. The institutions, the hedge funds are averaging between 2 and 4 billion a week of sales. So they're all leaving as the public is jumping all in. And at the same time, as the public has no allocation of metals, you're seeing 2+ million ounces stand for delivery in the first 3 days for 100% of every contract. Over 20,000 of them stood for delivery. In the first 3 days, you're seeing 5.3 million ounces of silver stand for delivery. What's it been since? I don't know. But you're talking 1,064 5,000 ounce contracts stand for delivery, when less than 1% of contracts issued ever stood for delivery. So what you're getting at is a situation where I think the public is being misdirected in a massive way. And you can see it as the insiders go the polar opposite way in both of these markets. Food for thought, because what could possibly go wrong for the main? And that's one of the things that I think I take away from the
Okay.
current environment.
So what Andy's, I want to stop right there because that's the important parts that I want to share. So he's talking about all these, these big companies, you got Amazon, Facebook, Nvidia, all these bigger companies are actually selling their own stock and stockpiling the cash or getting ready to make a bigger move. And what he's saying is the public is still focusing on the stock market. Okay, is this a great time? Because the stock market's going up or whatever. But the thing is why are these powers that be, these entities, these other people, these people that have the insider information, why are they getting rid of their own stock? So there's something brewing. And when he's making the comment about uh, the contracts for, like silver and gold are based, most of the trading is done by paper contracts where there's not actually enough physical silver and gold to back everything um, that is being traded. Okay, so like and he's saying that typically only 1% of contracts that are traded do the people actually stand for delivery. But what he was sharing there was all these companies that they're so far at the beginning of the month, the first 3 days of the month, that there were, like 100% of the contracts that people were standing for delivery. So they're actually looking to take physical possession of the gold and silver. So what that kind of boils down to is like if every single person that had, these contracts out there stood for delivery in the gold and silver industries, there's not enough to go around. Okay, so this is really huge. Okay, so now I want to share something here. So kind of keep that in mind. That's like a really huge point that everybody needs to understand and kind of watch what happens going forward. But that is something that should make a difference and an impact in your decisions. Now I'm going to play this video here from Mike Maloney and Alan Hibbard. This is from the Gold Silver YouTube channel. I want to give them credit and thank you for sharing this, as well as with Jay and Andy Scheckman from the previous video. So I want to go ahead and play this. It's just a short clip here that I want to share that Mike is talking about, the amount of silver that's available versus, the demand that's out there. Okay, so again, here, this is going to be a short commercial, so bear with me 1 second. Oh, it's not letting me skip that one. Sorry about that. This is live, baby, live.
Surgeons, there won't be enough ounces to mine.
Okay.
If miners to dig them up, nor school to
Okay.
shoot. No, you can't just magically come up with a whole bunch of silver because the price rises. It's going to take years for all of this to go back into balance. And we've had a deficit, a structural deficit for 5 years. And then if you add the investment demand to it, it's a deficit for 7 years that we've had, where we're gobbling up more silver than is being produced globally. And so we are right at the inflection point right now. And this 45-year cup and handle that I identified, I don't remember how far back it was, but I'm pretty sure I was the first one to identify the big cup and handle. The most recent cup and handle is the hand of the 45-year cup and handle. And that is predicting exactly what my price target, when you inflation adjust the 5250 high to today, using the currency supply measures, the Wilshire 5000, real estate, GDP, all of these things, it's predicting
It's mid triple digits, and I really do think that we are going there, and we're going there sometime soon. We have to go there. It'll only get worse if there's a crisis, if there is uncertainty, doubt, and people are seeking safe havens, and simultaneously people stop spending on cars and homes and all of these things that require the base metals. So silver will go into a fundamental shortage at the same time, and above ground stockpiles have been drawn down because of these structural deficits. What's your take on that, Alan?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's just a matter of time. Things are out of balance, and the market, the price of the silver market has really been determined by paper silver, and
So
all
that's
of
some,
these things.
so that's something that what he's Alan's touching on there as well as Mike is talking about the amount of gold silver that's available for all this demand. It's not there, okay, and it's going to take years for it to get caught up. Even if the demand stopped today, in order to get caught up to where the demand is for actually, for the trading, but also the physical demand for the actual use of silver, it would take 5 to 7 years. Okay, so that's something to kind of keep in mind too. So the demand is really there, and he was touching on a comment that a reader had made about, well, if they raise the price of silver, that should offset the demand. No, the demand is still physically going to be there. That's the thing is people think that well, if they raise the price, unless people are going to be buying it. Um, as far as trading, maybe that'll affect that a little bit, but as far as the actual physical demand in the actual everyday uses, whether it's cell phones, solar panels, cars, you name it, whatever uses silver, there's still going to be that demand there for it. And now with all these people, like I shared that video with Andy Scheckman, all these people actually standing for delivery on the silver, that's adding to this huge balloon. Like you can just imagine a balloon being blown up, and when it's getting close to the point where it's getting ready to burst, that's kind of where we're at right now. So what I want to share here is this is just another short clip from Andy Sheckman. This is another video that was from earlier in the week. I also had this below, and this is actually courtesy of the Metal Mindset YouTube channel. They actually had Andy on there with another gentleman, which the other gentleman didn't get to talk much, but I do want to share this because it is something that he's talking about between gold and silver, what we're looking at here. And this is a very short, like minute and a half clip. So let's go ahead and play this and bear with me on the commercial here. So, all right.
U.S. President is ready to buy any gold.
So this is what we're going to watch right here.
Are individuals. I don't know how far they take it, but if the mandate is how much they own, I think it's 100% happy. I think that right now silver is an opportunity that you don't find ever. I mean, I shouldn't say that, it's here, but it's an opportunity that is very unusual. On every level, the word is asymmetrical, lowest downside, highest upside, massive depleting inventories across the globe.
Generational wealth builder.
It is, but I think in the end, the place to be is gold, and that's playing the ratio. You buy silver at 100 to 1 ratio to gold, and then switch it when it gets 50, which would still be above its 150-year average, but 7 times higher than it's coming out of the ground. And it's coming out of the ground at 7 to 1. It's not 100 to 1. The difference is, you could have $2 million in gold in a big duffel bag. It'd be heavy. It would weigh roughly 600, it would weigh 45, 50 pounds. You could run to your car with it. 2 million in silver is going to weigh probably 3,000 pounds. I'm not kidding. I mean, it's ridiculously heavy. So if you can get past logistics or have it stored, I think silver is a generational opportunity. But gold, when the music stopped, is the place to be. If a genie came out of a bottle, said you get one wish, you can buy one. What would it be? I'd probably say gold, just because. And I think in the end, it's going to be part of a new system. If you said you get 2 wishes, the first one would be that you buy a whole bunch of silver, and the second one would be you swap it to gold. Right? That's how it. If it all works out according to plan, the amount of silver you.
Okay, so I did want to share that because like Andy's saying, if he's making again, if you made the comment about if you take advantage of silver at the 100 to 1 ratio, or like today it's 88.5 ounces to 1 ratio, like even now you take that advantage of silver right now, and then when it drops back down to that 50 to 1, or like I was using the example of 40 to 1 and 60 to 1 has been the typical average of the gold to silver ratio. So he's using 50 to 1. So if you then when silver drops, where it drops down to the 50-to-1 ratio, that's where you take the benefits or the profits from that drop from the 100-to-1 to 50-to-1, and then you use that to reinvest in gold. And that's what like I made a comment about the importance of the sound money wallet, and I will get to that here right after this 30% tariff thing. So I did want to mention this was something that I shared on last week's presentation, that as of August 1st, the U.S. has announced 30% reciprocal tariffs on imports from Mexico and the European Union. So this is something that um, one reputable report is from Reuters stating President Trump announced plans to impose a 30% tariff on imports from the European Union and Mexico starting August 1st. I have not been able to find a definitive article that goes over all the bullet points of this tariff and to be able to share it with everybody, but I will continue to look for that. But this is something that's also important to keep in mind as well. So, I made mention about this before too, about the central bank purchases of gold. Now, this is updated as of this morning. This is courtesy of macromicro.me. Um, so if you look here, this central bank purchases in gold going back to 2010, you see how it's been kind of steady, goes up a little bit here. This is around the COVID era, is right in here, but then it's very, very low, very, very low. And then like I always mentioned here, the key days around February 24th of 2022, when U.S. put the sanctions on Russia for the war with Ukraine, that's when you started seeing all these central banks buying it. So why are all these central banks buying it? That's something that, everybody's trying to get away from the Western countries being able to control the markets. Okay, so this is something where if I've talked before about the BRICS nation, about the repatriation or the revaluation of gold, which is something I will have to bring this up on one of our topics coming up, the more in depth about that. But if they do revalue gold, where it stands now, where it's like $42.22 or whatever per ounce. That's all these central banks and the U.S. banks and everything. They're basing it on that $42.22 an ounce. If it was revalued at, say, $2,000, $3,000, $9,000 an ounce, you see what would happen there, that it would basically clean the sheet for all central banks across the globe, but it would also help the United States and all these other countries get out of debt. Okay, so it's something to kind of keep in mind. It's really huge. And then this is actually from the first quarter of this year and the second quarter of 2025. It just doesn't show the 2025 here. So let me do real quick. So let's see, I've got Tom, Cindy, Jeff, Carl, and Richard that are still here or they're actually on the call right now, live at this very moment. So what I want to do is, like I said, this is something, we got this 1 gram gold bar that I'm going to be giving away. So I've got their names in the Silver and Gold Solutions Cup. Let's go ahead and draw this out. And today's winner is going to be Cindy. Congratulations, Cindy. So just send me an email at rick@silverandgoldsolutions.org. And again, I want to encourage everybody, if you're watching the video at this point, register below at sngsolutions.org/2025 event. You will get a one-time email with the link to join us every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And this way, if you're on the live call, you'll be eligible for whatever giveaway we have, which, like I said, today is the 1 gram gold. And then also we've given away silver, physical silver, and also some memberships as well. So what I want to do is real quick, I'm going to wrap this up. Congratulations again, Cindy. I'm happy for you. So what I want to do here is I mentioned the Sound Money wallet and how important that is. So this is from a company called 7K Metals, and it's somebody that I've religiously been purchasing from and saving from since going back to 2020. So this is on 5.5+ years now, and they have fantastic customer service. Their sell rate and buy rate for gold and silver is in the top, usually in the top two of every comparison I ever do. I've done some videos on that in the past, but right now 7K is available in 41 different countries. When I originally started with them back in 2020, they only had 6 countries. So their goal has been to have a global expansion to where every country in the world they're eligible. They offer the ability for the average everyday person to save in the form of precious metal with as little as $1 or $2 at a time. Now, I do have to preface this. They do have a membership to purchase from 7K. You can actually purchase from them directly, because I'll have a link below here too. You can purchase certain items from them directly, but to utilize the Sound Money wallet, which is what I was been trying to explain as far as buying incrementally a couple dollars at a time if you want, or even more if you'd like. But with the memberships, part of that that's included, there's like 10 plus different benefits to having a membership. But one of the biggest ones is the storage that's included with, the membership. So each membership, there's two packages. There's a basic and then there's a premium. In the premium, you would only have to pay one time, and then that's good for life. The basic, you basically have to pay for every year. But what is included in those memberships is the storage as well as free gold. When you create your account with the basic membership, you get $20 of gold put into your Sound Money wallet instantaneously. With the premium, you get $40 worth of gold put into your Sound Money wallet instantaneously. And what I wanted to share, go back, like I mentioned before, I did have the wealth strategies presentation on our very first call ever going back to the end of June. So what I wanted to, I do what I, share with people to go ahead and make sure you go back and check that out. It's our very first one. It's on the Work Smarter for You channel. And then what I want to do here is I'm going to try and pull this up without any difficulty, but it's with the Zoom bar here. It's sometimes a little bit challenging. So what I want to do is let's see. It's not letting me do it. Okay. So for the beginner, I'll just say this. For the beginner, and I will do another short video coming in the next week or so about the steps that, creating a membership with 7K. If you're interested in becoming a member 7K, and what I will do is also, let me see here. Yeah. Um, what I usually do is if you join with the link below, because 7K is by referral only, that's why you may not see them across all the news outlets are advertising all over the place because they don't advertise. They allow their members to share the benefits of 7K with other people, and so they're by referral only. But what's nice about that too is you have the ability to earn while you're sharing it with other people as well. And I will have that income disclosure below because as an independent associate of 7K, I do have to have that information. So there's information on that below. But also what I do is if you create your membership with 7K through the link that I have below this video, as part of, you would be attached to me and the Silver and Gold Solutions team. And what I would do as a bonus is I send out the Silver and Gold Solutions coffee mug, a 1 ounce copper coin, because copper is another precious metals that is in demand. It's just not, like I said, as sexy as gold and silver. And then, of course, a 1 ounce silver Indian Buffalo 1 ounce coin there. Okay, so that's pure silver. So that's my gift from me to you. So in addition to the benefits of 7K membership, you get this benefit from me as well. And this would be from me at no cost. But with 7K, if you do create your membership with them, like I encourage you just to even check out the link below just to see what they're all about if you've never heard of them. But if you do create your membership through the link, what you'll happen is you'll get a welcome email from 7K, and then there's 7 specific steps that you take, and you just go through the 7 steps, and that'll help you set up your Sound Money wallet so you can start buying and converting into silver and gold with as little as $1 at a time. And what's really cool and interesting about the Sound Money wallet, which is something that no other company in the world offers this, is it gives you the ability to purchase in gold and silver with, like I said, as little as $1, but you can determine whether you want gold or silver in your account. And there's 2 variations for each, silver and gold. There's 1 ounce coins, and there's also 100 ounce bars as well. But what you can do is you can start saving and stacking in silver and gold. But in the event you would like to convert silver to gold, you just do a click of a button, say convert your percentage of silver to gold. So if the markets fluctuate real high for silver and you're getting a profit, you might want to take those profits and convert it into gold. So that's one of the benefits. But then also what's a really cool benefit is if you ever needed to, you had an emergency expense or whatever, you could actually convert that silver and gold back to your fiat currency and straight back into your bank account if you'd like. Oh, so that's something that's very, very, very unique about their Sound Money wallet in 7K. So that's something that I encourage you at least to check it out and find out a little bit more information about them. So I wanted to thank everybody very, very much. I really do appreciate your time. I've been trying to do this weekly on a regular basis to just share the insight of what's going on, because there's so much noise out there and so much information, and people get information overload and then they don't know what to do. So my goal has always been to just share the best information with people and hopefully give you the ability to make a sound decision for yourself and your family and your future. So if you have not registered for the weekly live call, be sure to check out the link below and get registered. That way you'll have a chance, and like Cindy, to win the 1 gram gold bar. Like, so each week it's something different, but we've had the gold bar here for the last couple of weeks. So I want to thank everybody for your time. I wish everybody a great week ahead and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we'll talk to everybody again soon. Take care.